Blunt Talk with LT, episode 47. This episode is brought to you by StackGwop.com. StackGwop.com/shop. Shop for your newest Stack Gwop SGE apparel. All right, so we gonna get into it. That shit sounded weird. Happened to my voice there for a second. All right, so what was the first thing I want to talk about? Being back after being away for 3-4 weeks. Honestly, sometimes you do one thing when you have a podcast. The main thing you want to focus on is just being consistent and dropping episodes, because you get an earful from your fans all the fucking time, or your supporters, your listeners, or whatever, when you're not dropping episodes. Although life can hit and life can, you can be wherever the fuck you are in life doing whatever you got to do. The main thing you got to do is be consistent and drop episodes. And coming from somebody that's on episode 47, who's disappeared for the last month, it's not the thing people want to hear, but that's the thing I got to tell myself, because that's the most important thing when you have a podcast, is just being fucking consistent. You don't always have to have the best guests on your podcast. You might not always have the longest episode. You might not always have the quickest, wittiest episode, the most energetic episode. Depends on what type of podcast you have. Different people have different energies in podcasts. But nonetheless, the main thing is to be consistent. So that's the main thing I'm going to try to do soon, because I'm going on vacation soon. So that's going to be another, little lull. Actually, I'm probably going to shoot some episodes before then, because, niggas got to do what they got to do. When it comes to events in the city, am I going to do a recap on that right now? Maybe I should, because we're near the end of the summer. I should do that at the end of the summer, because there's a lot more events about to pop in the city that people want to go to, and we want to recap the summer of events. So I wanted to go in on a certain events, and wanted to praise other events, but I should do a summer wrap up, have a panel. So I'm gonna table that for a couple of days later. Try to get a couple of podcasts out this week. Hopefully I can actually stick to that shit, because me, trash when it comes to the scheduling on this shit. Let's talk about some deals that just recently were in the headlines, and I don't like talking about things where I don't know the details and the particulars, but I do that a lot on my podcast anyway, so let's talk about it. The Jay-Z shit. Jay-Z and the NFL have reached some sort of deal. Let me just see if I can pull that up on some sort of screen so I can get some details. Okay. See, the thing is, there's no real details out on the Jay-Z NFL deal, because I think it's more of a Rock Nation deal with the NFL. Yeah, see, as soon as I type it in, it says Jay-Z Rock Nation NFL. See this. I'm not going to be able to get any information on any particulars from a quick Google search within the past. See, if I took time to research this prior, I would have had more information on the details. But no one really gives a fuck about the details anyway. People just want to say, oh, Jay-Z has a deal with the NFL. See, that's the main thing. Okay. The details are coming up here. This is fucking long. What am I, a lawyer? I'm supposed to read fucking articles for days. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. All right, so basically, people are up in arms because Jay-Z has any type of deal. People don't give a fuck about the details. People don't care if Jay-Z has a team or whatever with the NFL. People are just mad that Jay-Z has any type of relationship with the NFL, and Nessa wasn't happy with it. Nessa, Colin Kaepernick's girlfriend. But my major question is, what the fuck is the NFL? Is the NFL okay. I understand that people believe that Colin Kaepernick has been blackballed from the NFL for taking a knee and raising awareness for police brutality and injustice in America, and trying to raise that awareness to get some sort of equality. People believe that that's the reason why he was, ultimately, cut from the NFL, not picked up by any teams. And then they had the thing is, Colin Kaepernick had his whole case and everything with the NFL, his whole grievance case with the NFL settled. And he got paid out from that. Nike picked him up as a sponsor. he's getting paid from Nike. So he has a Nike deal. He has the deal with that. He got the settlement with the NFL. He got paid out from the NFL. It's not like he completely won because it was a settlement, but there was still some money distributed to Colin Kaepernick. Eric Reid's still in the NFL collecting a check. There's plenty of players that took a knee and raised awareness that collect the check from the NFL. The consumers, everybody still watches the NFL. Everyone mad about it still watches the NFL. If Jay-Z has a deal with the NFL, fuck the details. Fuck whatever the hell if it's in some entertainment deal for the halftime shows or he's in command of those certain branches in the NFL. Why is Jay-Z not able to get money with the NFL? Has Jay-Z not had enough, or does he not have enough cachet with the community to already, to not, for people to not be skeptical of every move he's making? Because he's putting work in already. He's already done enough for the black community. He's already put people on, put people in positions, already helped out a lot of folks, done a lot of charitable donations, a lot of shit he's done, okay? I don't have to delve into everything Jay-Z's done for the community. But, Dame Dash feels, clearly he was on Adam 22's No Jumper podcast. He's like, oh, people aren't surprised because this is Jay. Jay does Jay things. Jay would rather have everyone else be the employees and him be the boss. And he got into Jay's whole ideology and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to get into speaking on what the hell he spoke on and butchering it. You guys want, if you want to hear what Dame Dash said about Jay-Z and the NFL situation, go listen to him on fucking Adam 22's podcast. But what I'm saying is certain people have different outlooks on Jay. Certain people think Jay is a snake because of the Rockefeller days and, the split with Dame and all of that. And then other people feel, Jay's a outstanding, black man for the black community. Wife is Beyonce, great family man, blah, blah, blah. People have different opinions of Jay-Z. But I would think that regardless of your opinion of him, the actual groundwork and all the work that he's put in and the people that he's put on would show that if he's doing something, it's not no malicious shit. He's not keeping Colin Kaepernick out of the NFL. And if he can't get Colin Kaepernick in the NFL with his little deal, why is that a big deal? Why does he have to save Colin Kaepernick? Like, he had his grievance case. He got paid out. I don't understand why Nessa would be mad at Jay-Z. I don't understand the outrage. That's basically what I'm saying. I don't understand the outrage. Why are you mad? Because he's getting money with the NFL? Jay-Z can't get money? It's fuck the NFL? Because that's not what it is. Because y'all niggas still watch the NFL. Y'all niggas still have shit to talk about the NFL. Every player, I don't understand it. It's just more fake fucking outrage. That's what it is. Fake outrage culture. Fake outrage. Everybody wants to be hype and want to have the little speech to stand up on their fucking soapbox and sound like they're, nicer and better and more of a great, outstanding human being than everybody else. It's like, fuck out of here with that bullshit. If you were in the position to have your Rock Nation, it's not even like Jay-Z, because Dame Dash also said Jay-Z's gonna, it sounds like he's being an employee for the NFL. Like, Jay-Z has his own company that is going to be hired by the NFL to work with the NFL. Like they say partnership. It's not partnership. It's not working with, technically. They're working for the NFL to work their production wing for their music and their entertainment branch. But Jay-Z physically has nothing to do with that. He's not going to be there in the offices working for the NFL. It's just his staff and his people that are hired. So it's not like Jay-Z's an NFL employee. Jay-Z's just getting money with the NFL. So in that way, when they say partnership, it fully makes sense because he's in partnership with the NFL because he has his Rock Nation employed by the NFL. It's not like Jay-Z's physically punching in on the clock. So y'all niggas need to understand that he's not, you know what I mean? He's not fucking employed by the NFL and Goodell and these fucks. It's not, they ain't that. And it's like clearly there's some allies with the NFL and some of the NFL's owners because Robert Kraft, New England Patriots owner, was fundamental in the whole Meek Mill case and helping with the other owner from Philadelphia, not the Eagles, the 76ers, one of their owners. I can't remember his name right now. It's slipping my mind. He's close friends with Meek Mill. He was on the Breakfast Club talking about it a couple months back. So it's like, I don't understand the outrage. And I don't understand why everyone feeds into the outrage. I don't even understand why I'm talking about the outrage right now, because it's just a bunch of idiots on Twitter and a bunch of fat motherfuckers that have no fucking life that just want to get clout on Twitter and shit. Don't even have their picture as their Avi. Mad at everything. Hate to see it, man. Hate to see it, buddy. Fucking losers. Fuck out of here. All the outrage is some fucking losers. And I'm like, why do we all pay attention to it? Has anybody that has anything going on with their life sit down and fucking make comments and outrage to try to get retweets 24/7? That's on. No one does that. Nobody that has things going for their life is fucking outrage beacon on the internet 24/7. Doesn't happen. You got a platform. You got something going for you. You're doing your own shit. And people are commenting on you about shit. Like, I don't know, man. All right, let's get off this. Let me take a real quick break. Real quick. There's going to be a cut in this episode for that. Probably won't even see it, so there's no point in mentioning it. Get myself some fucking water real quick before I talk about the GOAT list. So we're going to have I keep talking about the GOAT list. I spoke about it in past episodes. I'm going to have a section or a segment on the podcast in which I speak about somebody that I deem to be the GOAT in the respective field. So I'm going to get to the GOAT list when we get back on Blunt Talk with LT. I don't have any. Oh, no, this is a perfect time to slap in a fucking sponsor. Let's pay some bills right quick, and then I'll be right back. Okay. All right. So we back. Couple of technical difficulties. You gotta deal with these motherfucking technical difficulties every so often. Whatever the fuck I'm trying to say. I fuck up ever so often as well. So whatever. All right. Back after that jump, we're gonna get into the GOAT list now. So this is my personal GOAT for a female rapper. I don't like separating female rappers talent-wise and male rappers talent-wise, because it's not like it's a physical sport where you have to separate like a male basketball player from a female basketball player, because you can't compare them. That's asinine. But comparing a rapper, what is the difference? You guys are both playing with words, both rhyming over beats. But at the end of the day, you still got to separate them to give, you still got to, for me to give this individual her credit, you got to put her on the GOAT list as the best female rapper, because to get the best rapper, male or female, is a different discussion. But I feel I can certainly put her at the top as the best female rapper, the greatest female rapper of all time. And many people are going to disagree. Many people are going to be like, what about Lauryn Hill? What about this and that? For me, I consider Lauryn Hill more, I would put her as like a greater artist, a more legendary artist, although she wants to be late for all her performances and shit. Whatever. She's like a singer, more like, I don't know. Although Lauryn has bars or whatever, that's just not for me. The greatest female rapper of all time is Nicki Minaj. There's not a single thing rap-wise that Nicki Minaj can't do. And she writes all her own shit. So it's like you don't have that tarnished legacy of, oh, I didn't write this, I didn't write that. Because there's certain individuals, especially female artists, that's where the female artist category gets a little bumpy, because historically a lot of them had niggas writing their shit. Nowadays there's female artists that are better than niggas, and they're writing their own shit. So it's a different wave. It's a different generation of female artists. But historically, it wasn't always that. Yeah, there was female artists that wrote their own shit, but, you know, for the most part, the better ones were getting their shit written by men. Nicki changed that mold. Nicki wrote her own shit for her entire career. There was never, like, although, like, you know, when she was with Safari, people like to say, oh, Safari influenced, Safari did this. Safari didn't do shit. If Safari wrote for Nicki, then why can't he write for himself? Because his bars and his shit is trash compared to Nicki. So when people try to do that and put them on the same level, it's disrespectful. Nicki Minaj is the best female rapper of all time. She could do everything. She stands like from the time that Monster track came out, and she was going bar to bar with Hove. Not no washed up Hove. This was what, 2009? Jay-Z was still spitting. He's still spitting to this day. So it's not like Jay's washed up and she wasn't going bar for bar with Hove on that track. And that wasn't like, who was on that song? I can't even remember who was on the song. I just remember Jay-Z was on the song. I remember Kanye was on the song. And Nicki was on the song. I think Ross may have been on the song. But Nicki bodied the song. You had all those motherfuckers on the song and Nicki bodied the song. Nicki has great hooks, lyricism, punchlines, storytelling, commercial success, numbers to back it up, fan base to back it up. Nicki's one of the biggest artists out today still. After everyone wants to say she fell off and there's a Nicki hate train and all that shit, Nicki Minaj, 10 years in the game, still one of the biggest artists. For me, it's not even debatable. Like, for me, it's hard for me to just have the GOAT list and not have anybody sit here and debate why, because I'm just going to be going off the top of my head and fucking dick riding almost, pause, but woman, clit, whatever they want to say, whatever. It's clear. Nicki Minaj, I think this is the first segment of the GOAT list. So Nicki Minaj, first entry on the GOAT list. Best female rapper of all time. Feel free to debate nobody in the comment section because I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to be debating these motherfuckers wanting to say shit. Nicki Minaj, hands down, best female rapper of all time. So that's the first segment of the GOAT list. All right, so I'm going to talk about Nicki Minaj's appearance on Joe Budden, the Joe Budden podcast. I didn't get to listen to Joe Budden and, Maul and them on her podcast, Queen Radio, because it's like, I think it's one of those things once it's airing, if you don't have the radio thing or whatever the app is, you don't get to hear it. I can't find it till this day. So I just got to go off of the whole her and Budden on the Joe Budden podcast and her yelling at Budden and her, paging Budden about certain shit that Budden said in the past, but Budden saying it's old, so why do you care about it? But really and truly, it was more of an attack on her character. It wasn't the issue at hand. And she kept trying to make that apparent to him that, you're assassinating her character with this statement. It has nothing to do with the actual. No one gives a fuck about the motorsport record. No one gives a fuck about none of that old shit. And that was the message she was trying to get past. And I think she successfully got it through at the end. But I don't think he apologized or anything. He got yelled at. He got all that. But I don't know if he actually apologized for anything he said. So it was good for both of them. It was good for Nicki to let people know that she's not going to just take shit. She's going to be out here saying her piece, and she's going to be reacting to motherfuckers. And it was good for Joe because, that's good promo. You good artist relations. It's just good for your podcast in general. You get that buzz. You get that coverage. You get that situation out. Breakfast Club didn't get to, have that conversation with Nicki Minaj and get the, shit aired out. But I don't even think there's much to air out with Charlamagne and Nicki Minaj because, yeah, she went and talked all that shit about Charlamagne and Envy and shit. But it's like, at the end of the day, they don't really care about I don't know, man. I feel like that's almost forced drama. Like, no one really gives a fuck. People cared about the Joe Budden and Nicki thing, artist to artist. Like, the Breakfast Club's gonna say whatever the fuck they say whenever they say it about certain artists. Not even the Breakfast Club, just really Charlamagne, because we already know Angela Yee is more PC. She's good with all artists and all the labels or whatever. DJ Envy's just doing his thing as a DJ. He doesn't really have too much input or too much shit negative to say about artists. It's really just Charlamagne that people have beef with, but that's what stirs the pot and that's what keeps the shit going. So it is what it is. I don't really have much of a recap to talk about that Nicki shit when it comes to Nicki and Joe. Not much to discuss, really and truly. There's the whole Game versus Rick Ross conversation that they're having on the Joe Budden podcast about who's better, Game or Rick Ross. Game's better lyrically. You can have your biases of who you like better, whose music you like better, whose flow you like better. Lyrically, the Game has proven that he's superior to Rick Ross. He'll 500 bars a nigga out. It's not. I don't know. It is what it is. That's just my opinion. So I got the Game on that. Let's get to Diddy dating Lori Harvey. Okay, what the fuck is going on? How was Diddy dating Lori Harvey? Wasn't his son dating Lori Harvey before? And how was Diddy spotted out with Lori Harvey and what's her face? Lori Harvey, her mom, and fucking Steve Harvey, all on a yacht with Diddy, with their daughter. I don't understand that. And you know Diddy's dating your daughter. Like, what the fuck is going on? What world is Hollywood? It's not even Hollywood. This is not. It's not the movie shit. This is just America. This is just fucked up. This is just Diddy doing Diddy shit. No one really commented about that. I didn't know what it is. Charlemagne and them and the Breakfast Club revolt. Joe Budden and them. Well, not they're with Spotify, but Joe Budden still has a deal with Revolt and Diddy with the State of the Culture. And that's why you haven't heard the two most vocal black men call Diddy out on this shit. This shit is weird as fuck. Steve Harvey just letting his daughter date Diddy, and Diddy's dating his son's leftovers. Like, what the fuck is going on? Am I incorrect? Am I wrong? Did she not date Diddy's son? That is fucked. See, I ain't a father yet, but I couldn't ever picture dating my son's leftovers. What kind of thing is that, bro? I'm like, what? That shit is wild. That could be your daughter, fam. Like, the fuck? I don't know, man. These niggas like young women, but Jesus Christ. When there's certain... You have to have some sort of boundaries. You have to have certain things that you don't touch. Certain topics people don't touch. Like, clearly no one wanted to touch this and no one wanted to talk about this, but who the fuck cares? I'm talking about it. This is blunt talk, nigga. We talk about whatever. And that shit is just weird to me personally. I don't understand how... I don't know how old Diddy is. He's like 50 years old something. Lori Harvey's in her early 20s. But it's not just about the age. The age is horrible enough. This is the fact that she dated your son. Like, you don't want to date, like, people don't want to date their friends' leftovers. But to date your, like, people don't want to date their, like, cousins, brothers' leftovers. Like, that's gross. But to date your son's leftovers, bruh, that shit's weird. That is weird. It's like, I don't care who you are. You can establish whatever name. You can have all these Meek Mill and Trey songs and these niggas saying your names in songs and shit. But it's like, fuck, bro. Okay, it is what it is. I'm going to stop harping on that. People have their own decisions. People make their own decisions with their life. That ain't me. That ain't me doing that. So I'm going to stop, going in on that. That's probably why they didn't cover it. Because people probably don't give a fuck about who dates who. They just let it go. TMZ and motherfuckers cover that, but no one really cares. Shit is just weird. All right, shit. All right, so we gonna get into some basketball talks real quick. Boogie's out. Boogie got injured. Boogie tore his ACL. Everybody knows this by now. The Lakers signed Dwight Howard in place of Boogie, and Dwight Howard's just not Dwight Howard anymore. He's not the same high-flying Dwight Howard. But I still think off the bench, because I would get Dwight Howard. Like, the way, if I was the Lakers and I was coaching the Lakers, then I'd be putting together a depth chart and shit. There's no way in hell I'm having Dwight Howard in the starting lineup over JaVale McGee. Not after all the impact that JaVale McGee had last year working with LeBron and the pick and roll and his effectiveness. Shooting 60% from the field plus. Like, he was going to work early in the season. He was averaging like 17 a game, or 18 a game early in the season. Definitely going to go with JaVale McGee in the starting lineup over Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard coming off the bench can probably still give you 10 and 10, so that still might be good, but he ain't stretching the floor. They're definitely playing with a big out every time with Anthony Davis on the floor, because Anthony Davis adamantly does not want to play the 5. It's going to be a big lineup. It's going to be a different this is going to be a different season. It's not going to just be that, 3-ball season, guards running this shit. It's going to be a different NBA season. Recently, there's been a bunch of YouTube videos, a bunch of coverage of people calling out Chris Broussard, NBA analyst for FS1, for having fake sources, and a lot of the shit came from the whole Kawhi Leonard going back to the Clippers situation and people pulling up coverage of him double talking on different sources, going to TV and saying that, you know, it's definitely the Clippers are out, it's going to be the Lakers or the Raptors, and then pulling up footage of him saying on the FS1 Sports Radio or whatever the fuck it was, him saying that the Clippers are in it and they're the front runners, and basically double sourcing his information, and then saying that he got some of his sources from some no-name brand, not verified Twitter account that has 200,000 followers, but often spills NBA like news and sometimes gets certain things right. So they're saying that that was one of his primary sources. There's multiple YouTube videos of YouTubers relaying this same information that I'm saying right now, calling Chris Broussard out as a fraud and a fake analyst, and he's not a real reporter, and he doesn't have real ties to the NBA, and he doesn't have ties to the GMs and all the shit that he says he has ties to, and basically just going in on Chris Broussard. I am not one of the people that think Chris Broussard's a fraud. I actually like Chris Broussard's reporting. I like his perspective on a lot of NBA things, but he's been wrong. Everybody's been wrong about certain things that they speculate, and people hear things from sources that may not be right all the time. And sometimes you think you might have a quality source that's done you right in the past, but sometimes they might be wrong about certain things. Sometimes they might be thrown off by players and agents moving savvy, trying to throw off the trail so people don't know what they're doing. Kawhi Leonard and his representatives definitely done a good job of keeping things under wraps and keeping things low key to throw people off. So when they were trying to report, it's kind of mucky. So for me, if there was more than just this, and people had multiple various incidents of him being, a fraud or double sourcing or making one take on one platform and another on the other, then I would kind of, look into it a little deeper. But for now, I feel like this is just conspiracy. I know it's blowing up and people are getting hundreds of thousands of views trying to expose Chris Broussard, but I don't think that's it. I think they're wrong on that one. Everybody's wrong on shit. How many, unless you're a Woj, there's something on the internet that, you said that you've been wrong about. Like, even Brian Windhorst has been wrong about certain things that he's heard in the media that have been reported that, came out to be actually not like false reporting, but, prognostications that have not been fulfilled. Like, were not correct pretty much. That happens to everybody in sports media, so I think that's a little overreacting on the YouTubers' behalf. I didn't get no follow-up from that black kid that was charged in that dodgeball incident. That's bullshit. How are you going to charge a kid for throwing a dodgeball and hitting another kid, and another kid's getting some sort of injury or something from dodgeball? Like, it's dodgeball, nigga, move. The fuck? And even if you do get hit, suck it up. It's a sport. If you can't handle the sport, that's not up to the kid. That's up to the teachers and the curriculum that allows them to have that in phys ed. If people can't handle it, and if you're too frail and don't get in the that's up to the teacher to not have the motherfucker out there in the fucking court to play dodgeball. So I need to get a follow-up on that. If someone wants to hit me up in my mentions or something, or in the comments, and let me know what the fuck happened with that shit, that would be great. I'll probably turn this into a little clip, so you can comment in the clip and let me know what happened to that kid, because that's bullshit. Nothing should have happened to that kid. All right, last topic before I get out of here, because I got to say some shit for the next episode, because, I got to be right back, because that's what happens when you slack. I'm only on episode 47. If I had done an episode, okay, I shouldn't even be going into myself, but if I've done an episode once a week since I've started this, I'll be way past 47, because I've been doing this for more than a year. Should be way past 47. Trash. All right, so let's go into Chris Cyborg getting banned from the UFC or kicked out or cut, whatever the fuck they wanted to label whatever happened to Chris Cyborg, because she edited footage, not her camp, her people, them. Brendan Schaub and Joe Rogan want to say it's her boyfriend that's doing all of this. I don't know who the fuck is doing all of this and editing the videos, but someone edited the audio to have Dana White say something that he didn't technically say, and it was something in the rights of saying that he don't believe what he says in these promotional things, and it's bullshit and blah blah blah. And basically, when she confronted him about the whole she wanted the rematch thing, that's when they edited the audio and said that he said that shit, but he never actually said that shit. And when you look at his lips and you look at the audio, it clearly he didn't say that he's a liar and any of the shit that they tried to say that he said. So, because they had it in subtitles in the video on YouTube, it did a lot of views. I watched Chris Cyborg's vlogs. I like Chris Cyborg as a fighter. I liked her vlogs. I liked what she was doing with her self branding and shit, but and her marketing. But I didn't like that move. That move was stupid. I don't know who the fuck did that move, but now she ain't in the UFC. She's gonna have to fight in like Bellator or something. I don't even know if Bellator has women's. I don't know, man. It's fucked up. She took an L with that one. Hopefully, there's some sort of public apology, and that's all that needs to be made for her to get that Amanda Nunes rematch before they both hang that shit up, because I don't see Chris Cyborg fighting for that much longer or having much of a longer career, because she's getting up there in age. No disrespect, but people age. Father Time's undefeated. I don't see anyone beating Amanda Nunes, though, so it is what it is. Any other UFC thing? Oh, yeah, fucking Cormier. Daniel Cormier lost. He had that fight. He just wanted to wrap it up. He wanted like some sort of spectacular finish. He just kept putting the pressure on when he should have just been trying to run out the clock, because he would have won that decision. But it is what it is. It's what happens when you're 40. He's like 40 years old. He doesn't have much time either. The clock's going to run out on him. There's only so much damage you want to take to your body and put on your body when you're trying to have a career after, because he has a good career in commentating after. So I don't know if he's going to run that rematch back with Stipe or try to chase a John Jones fight. But I think his career is pretty much solidified. People want to say, oh, well, Stipe is the best heavyweight of all time. Stipe beat you in the second fight. I think it's pretty well known that Daniel Cormier is a better fighter than Stipe Miocic, because he won the first fight. He knocked him out easily. In the second fight, he was dominant. He won that fight. And then just near the end, he fucked up. If they run that back, I'm guessing Daniel Cormier would win that fight. The John Jones shit, that shit flew. That's done. They ain't running that back. And if they do, then DC's probably going to lose that. I don't see him beating John Jones. I think John Jones just has his number. All right. What else do I got to talk about? Shit. Probably not going to smoke so much before these fucking podcasts, because you get lost sometimes in your train of thought. But it is Blunt Talk with LT, so hey, gotta stay on fucking theme sometimes. You know what it is. All right, it's Blunt Talk with LT, episode 47. What else do I gotta say? StackGwop.com. No sponsors to plug. We out. Yerp.